So I'm really excited about today's workshop, and I want to dive into three things. So first, the future of AI for life science. The reason that I spend a lot of time thinking through the presentation and how if I were a student or I want to advance my career in regulatory, what I want to get the most out of say like 1 hour that can really propel my growth in my journey. So there are three things. First is like, what's the future of AI for life science? For a lot of regulatory nerd and data nerds like me, and I think we like to let our work speaks for ourselves. But given the change of the industry, now the industry is moving so quickly. Technology is advancing so quickly, so that be able to speak high level and strategically to really shape either your personal career or in your small group or in the large organization is a skill that must have for all the regulatory professionals. And then the second is like, now we are at the end of 2024, and we are thinking of as we think ahead for 2025, how would you build out your AI strategy for yourself, for your organization, for your team, and for your product line? And last but not least is a couple. I actually added a little bit more about like AI successful stories for regulatory use cases, because I've done webinar almost every other month, if not a couple in a month, something that really resonate with our audience, with people, with everyone on the call, is like, how other people, how are my peers, my competitor, or my other people in my field are leveraging technology. So I think the third part is where I'm going to spend the most time and get more interactions. Okay, so before I get started, Connor gave a very flattering introduction about myself. I would want to learn more about like everyone on the call. So if you could kindly help to share a little bit about yourself, like which industry are you in? You can type in 1 stands for pharma, 2 for medtech, or 3 is for both. So this will help me to adjust and adapt my stories, the user stories as I go. So I've tapped out the question. Okay. Wow, a lot of people are in both. I see some in pharma. Okay, awesome. Wow, a lot of jack of all trades. Okay, I see majority seems like there's a very healthy balance of pharma and medtech, and a lot of jack of all trades. So, wow, no pressure, Michelle. And then I also want to learn a little bit about your the size of your company, so that I can engage like whether I focus more on individual small to mid-sized companies or large companies. So are you working for like say small startup? Are you working for a consulting firm or big company, or you're your own boss? Okay, wow, a lot of boss lady in the audience. That's awesome. Okay, this is yeah, as we continue to have the conversation, I will adjust the contents. We have a lot of contents to go after, and yeah, happy to adjust the stories as we go. So the first part, I want to give you an overview of how AI has evolved in not only in the tech world, but also in our life science industry. And it's a really important timing of the year, because we're at the year end, and we can look ahead and also look back to see like how crazy and how busy the AI industry has been. So as everyone probably know that recently the Nobel Prize prize committees actually awarded two very prominent positions to AI to recognize the fundamental discovery that really enabled machine learning with artificial neural networks. This is a really pivotal point to not only for the academic world, but also for the industry, for a whole world to recognize the power of AI and how it will fundamentally shift our way of work. If you feel like your world has been disrupted by AI, like you are probably not far from reality. And if you feel like, well, my life is still the same, actually there's already a lot of areas that has already been empowered by AI. Like as we see from this slide, AI is actually everywhere. If you ever read a news, if you ever use a smartphone, if you ever do online shopping or just use browser, either Google or Microsoft, AI is already embedded in our day-to-day activities. So we also have seen a lot of changes in the fundamental technologies that really improves the quality and the delivery of AI solutions. I feel like every day since the April of last year when ChatGPT was introduced, now like 2 years later, I feel like every other day I read about news about OpenAI, about their new release and the new technologies. So now it's a good time for me to pause to ask questions like how are you adopting AI solutions? Are you already thinking about it, or like already tried it, or like using it daily? So I just tap the questions in the chat. So we're very, very curious to learn like how are you adopting AI into your work? Are you just like I need to edit, try it. Well, a lot of people has tried it, and some even use it on a daily basis. Then what solutions, what AI tools are you using? Are you using ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, or Microsoft Copilot, or the generic or general AI solutions? Yeah, I see. Yeah, thank you, Connor. Yeah, I suspect a lot of our students or our audience on the call will probably already use the ChatGPT. Wow, some even use clouds. This is very advanced. Yeah. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, please share your information. This really helps me to gauge the AI literacy of our audience and share with you like what are the things that the general AI can do and what opportunities that it presents for the regulatory industry. Okay, so here is a summary of I selected a couple of very noticeable or some of the AI solutions that has been pretty almost like leaders in the life science industry. We've seen like on the left-hand side of the slides is are all the critical steps in the life science journey from say clinical research all the ways to like our regulatory intelligence. Yeah, very from like every step along the way, there's are some very unique AI solutions that has been developed to help with either with the development like identify molecules or use machine learning or AI. Hang on 1 second. I think I have a technical issue. So either like use machine learning, deep learning to find target, or use the previous data to use digital twin to reduce the number of clinical trials or the patients, which enable us to run a clinical trial faster, cheaper, and better. And also for regulatory affairs, there's different ways to leverage AI to look at the regulatory challenges. So for example, leverage to provide regulatory advisory and summarize guidance, help with submission packages. I will go into details in the next slides. What I want to share with you about the AI solutions for regulatory affairs or life science in general is that currently what we find the most interesting and the most challenging part is how do people evaluate value. And when we go into companies, whether it's one person startup or a research institution or a multinational corporation, value is measured differently across different life cycles and different functions. For IT, sometimes they feel like, well, we can build it internally and we need to see the ROI. For the operation team, for example, regulatory team, they do feel like, oh, if I can do things more faster, more efficient, and I can free myself from the tedious, manual, and time-consuming work that enable me to build more credential in my career, and I can advance my career to work on more strategic and more high-level tasks. This is a win for me. This is value to me. And for some companies, the business team control all the budget, and if they can see the time saved, the efficiency gain, and especially they can mobile the resources in terms of people's time, people's energy, and headcount. If they can reallocate their resources in a much more meaningful way, this also a value. So we can have offline discussion on the values, but I find this is very interesting that different companies, when it comes to AI adoption, have different value and different evaluation systems. So going on the next slides, I want to share with you about this is Gartner charts as we talk about AI adoption in regulatory affairs, and especially with so many students who already have experienced AI in your day-to-day work and tried it. Where do you see as in the curve? Is it more like, are we at the early technology trigger time, or are we already at the plateau of productivity, or are we overhyped? Yeah, I've typed out the question in the chat, and if you feel like you want to come out of mute and share about your opinions, feel free to do so. I want this webinar to be as interactive as possible. So I asked the same question at one of the presentation or workshop I did with DIA, and a lot of thank you, Fatel, thank you, Ayub, and a lot of some people are saying like, wow, we are just at the peak of like almost reaching the peak of the hype, and some people say like we are barely touching the surface. There are going to be more like more hypes coming up, giving the funding and giving the productivity of like the GPU and computing power. And also there are people saying that they see we are reaching the plateau of productivity. And in your opinion, In your opinion, what are the overhyped and underhyped use cases for AI? So my next question for you, and this is the open discussion, is like, in your opinion, what are the overhyped, underhyped use cases for AI? For example, some overhyped use case could be AI for drug discovery, AI for patient selection. Some underhyped use cases could be like AI for safety, because now like AI is taking everyone's data to train, and then how can we make sure the data or the training is used in a very ethical and very diverse and inclusive way that does not create that does not compound more bias. Yeah. So yeah, would love to. Okay, yeah. Fatima has a very good opinion. Like, say, overhyped is like, in general. I don't know. Like maybe my reading of your comments, like, you think AI is overhyped for healthcare, but underhyped is in education. That's for sure. Now a lot of people just a lot of school. Even I teach at Stanford University of Washington, and also Texas Medical Center. I've as a young guest speaker, I have the opportunity and privilege to engage in conversations with some of our professors and students and parents. It's not surprising. A lot of professors and parents are worried that kids use ChatGPT to create their homework, but they haven't figured out a way to how to leverage AI to really democratize the tribal knowledge, to really enable more kids to have, the top education like what we are having today, or from Stanford, Harvard, and all the other very prestigious institutions. Okay, this is the food for thought, and I'm sure like as holiday approaches at a Christmas party, you can have intellectual discussion with your family and friends to discuss like what are the use cases in AI that you think is underhyped and overhyped. Okay, going on now is getting to the second part, is the fun part, is like where we see the AI for regulatory affairs. And this is a very interesting slide, and I'll share my slide deck after the presentation. Whenever I've seen a lot of our customers and our users, if they want to educate the leadership about the pain point of regulatory affair and why regulatory affair is poised just perfectly for AI. This is a slide to share, because in a lot of companies, there's silo data and there's over reliance on one particular expert and one particular staff. Giving my personal experience when I was working at Novartis, when it comes to certain countries and certain regulatory affairs, we have to ask the expert, no matter this expert is on vacation or on business trips, so we need to get him on the phone to give us analysis or some insights or some prediction. And with AI, the beauty of AI is it can synthesize all the historical learnings and historical experience. For super experienced experts, AI can enable you to do things much faster, so that you don't need to waste your precious time to go into very tedious manual works. For example, compile dossier or like a search on the FDA website to find what is the latest guidance or what has been changed with the guidance. AI can very quickly help you to summarize and do the comparison. And for the young people, I think most of the students on the call, and for the rising star, AI is actually can be a booster for your career. So AI can really help you to accelerate your growth and get you to to help you to excel from all those experience previously. How a regulatory professional is trained is through years of real life practice, which is necessary. However, a lot of those experience can be learned or passed through either leveraging new technology to synthesize insights or leverage new technology to translate different domain expertise. So for regulatory affairs, a lot of experts and myself are super excited, and we see actually more potential about AI in regulatory affairs. So going on the next slide, this is where the previous slides, we talk about the pain point of a regulatory affair, all the silo data and all all our heavy workloads and all those tight deadlines. This is where we look into the future to see how AI will really transform the knowledge workers, aka every regulatory professionals on the call, and really enable you to reimagine the future. For example, traditionally, for example, information collection, regulatory intelligence collection. I have done that as a junior analyst at BCG to collect all the regulatory informations. Now with some either specialized tool like Guidance IQ that summarize all the guidance, or using ChatGPT, I can get a pretty good result by summarizing, generating all the information. And also for market research and generating insights, this can be done very quickly and actually very efficiently by AI. So this will help us with all those tasks automated or improved by efficiency. What will really enable regulatory professionals to do is more strategic work. So we can, previously, regulatory teams are probably more focused on one geography. Say I'm an expert in regulatory in Canada, or I'm an expert in regulatory work in US. With all those works automated or reduced, we could work on a global strategy. We can look at our all those information to see pursue new market. How about Europe and Asia? And also enhance our products and services. We do see a lot of regulatory consultants. For example, one of our champion, Dr. David Rutledge, he called himself the Silicon Valley regulatory consultant. He leveraged different AI solutions like Nyquist AI to help him deliver better quality of services and faster response. And also with the future of regulatory affair will not only compete on your personal experience and your learning capability, but also your creativity. How can you create? And using unique knowledge and insights is based on how quickly you adopt those AI technology and really embed that into your daily activities. We can definitely continue conversation about these slides for hours. This is one of my favorite slides to help you reimagine your future of work. And we can go on to the next slides to talk about some nerdy stuff like technology adoption. And when it comes to technology adoption, depends on where you are. For different companies, there's different IT solutions and different guide rail and regulations and the code of conduct. What we have seen is basically 3 layers of adoption. First is data layer. For example, some database that is powered by AI that is considered to be the safest and requires the least integration and internal data. The second layer is where the workflow automation comes in. We talk about, like Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility, and with great data comes to great tools. So by by all those learnings from different life science data, the AI will get so much better so that they can help you build different workflow tools. For example, AI-enabled medical writing, AI-enabled guidance review. The third layer is where we see a lot of more interactions, where we going from data layer, workflow layer to intelligence layer, where like organizations merge their internal data with external data and provide and really have their customized, fine-tuned AI solution. A lot of audience, like probably everyone on the call, have the question, what chat GPT or how can we tell if an AI solution is good and what are the limitations? Well, a simple analogy I often use is that Google and OpenAI or Microsoft Copilot, they are large language models. They are like a smart student with English literature bachelor degree. You can ask it to do a quick search to help you summarize a document and to help you, holidays coming up, help you draft a thank you note for your family or friends. But they do have limitations with when it comes to domain expertise, for example, biopharma and medical device, so on and so forth. And fine-tuned algorithm for dedicated to regulatory affair is like MD, PhD level AI. They really have the domain expertise, and their training set is based on the proprietary knowledge of all the life science data. That is where, like, say, general AI and vertical AI, that's the major difference between general AI and vertical AI. And that's where we believe that everyone on the call will benefit from vertical AI. Okay, going on forwards with great technologies, we need to talk about the great ROIs. Let's see the AI with ROI. So as you can see from this chart, this is also a very good chart for you to present to your leadership team, present to your boss when you talk about your 2025 AI strategy. You can see that regulatory affairs actually touch every step along the life cycle, from as early as research and development to post-market surveillance. And based on our estimation, customer interviews, there are critical tasks that can be automated by AI that can save your organization tremendous amount of money. And also, it's not only just saving money and time, but also enable you to capture new opportunity and new market to excel from the competition. Okay, now it's getting to the third part. Is the fun part is like where we see the different use cases. I will skip this one. The first one that I want to share with you is a very fun story. And now the holiday is coming up. This could be a very interesting story for you to share at the Christmas party. So one of our, let's call this use case justice. One of our customer, John, just call him John, used to be this big shot at regulatory affair. And after he retired, he still have energy, so he started his own consulting firm. So one day his client called him, said like, hey, we are in trouble. We got sued by another company B that for IP infringement. Can you help us? Can you be our expert witness I need to put you on trial? John was like, wow, it's such tight deadline and it's such a convoluted case when it comes to IP. There's so much data. Where do we start? So what he has done is to leverage Nyquist AI's data platform to very quickly, as you can see from the first chart, he used AI to map out all the predicates or the prior art the company A has leveraged. And then on this chart is called Predicate Navigator. He used our AI tools to map out all the genealogy. It's like 23andMe or family tree of company A's products and company B's products, which shows there's no linkage of the two companies. And he was able to present the documents with original FDA approval letters associated with this content. Even though the plaintiff hired a former FDA reviewer as their expert witness, this person was not given the solution or the proper data to defend the case. So in less than about 2 weeks, our client was able to use the predicate map and also the genealogy using AI to lump all the genealogy of different prior art to defend the innocence of his client. And I find this case super interesting and want to share with you. Like I often joke with my colleagues and my friends that wow, our clients regulatory, everyone, when people talk about regulatory, everyone think regulatory is so boring. Actually, regulatory is very exciting. There's no there's surprise and there's surprise, there's drama, there's like excitement in every FDA submission, in every FDA decisions. So I was like, wow, I can cancel my Netflix subscription and listen to the exciting stories of how our clients was able to use AI to navigate the different scenarios and help solve the case. Yes, we will send I think this video is on recording after, and I will also send the slide deck after the presentation. You don't miss much. We're getting to the interesting part where we are talking about a real life use case of leveraging AI for different scenarios. So this is like since the very beginning, I asked a question of where our students or our audience sits in their career. There's a lot of lady boss or like someone running your own consulting firms. I think this story is perfect for you to relate to, like how like different scenarios by leveraging AI to map out the genealogy, the prior arts, to help your client to defend for their integrity of patent. So going on the next case is probably even more relatable to either consultants or a biotech startup or mid even to large size of the companies. So this is the story about how our client use AI generated smart data, and we call it 1-2 punch to win the FDA reviews. So as I said in the previous story, there's no easy peasy journey in life science. This is in regulatory affairs. There's always last minute request from the FDA or like unexpected question from the FDA or a lot of drama, suspension, and excitement from the work. So what Mary did is that she was the VP of a small cap public company, and she has a small team but big growth goals. And everyone in regulatory affairs probably feel like the tight timeline. And one of my favorite quotes from one of our customers is that she says like, my client always wants the approval yesterday, like yesterday. So she was faced with a very tight timeline for a blockbuster neural endoscope submission. And everything seems to work except by almost as she reached the final finishing line, she and her team was so close. They could already see the light at the end of the tunnel. And the FDA come back like, we would love to have a cleaning validation at the end. And not only the cleaning validation will cost the extra $300,000, but also will delay the product launch. For everyone in pharma and in medtech, you can probably relate that time is premium. If you are the first to the market, you can like literally dominate the market. So Mary's like, okay, what do I do? So they go into the NeuAge AI database. We have a database for both biopharma and medtech, and she was very quickly to sift through all the similar products that first FDA never requests them to do such cleaning validation. And second, she looked at all the adverse event and use AI to dive into what are the patient problem, what are the device problem, and realize that there's a little to zero association between the cleaning validation and emerged risks. So with 1-2 punch, number one reason is that Mary's like, okay, Mr. FDA. So first of all, from all the prior submissions, you never asked any similar product to include this cleaning validation test. And second punch she did is like, okay, I understand, Mr. FDA, you want the product to be safe, you want to protect the patients, but look at the risks. None of the risks that emerge with the similar with product in this category has been associated with the cleaning validation. So with her 1-2 punch, the FDA was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like maybe this is like unnecessary cleaning validation request on our end. And she was able to defend her case. She was able to get FDA approval, and she was able to save the 300,000. Most importantly, she was able to save the timeline and really to accelerate the innovation. So this is another one for AI for regulatory affairs. I want to quickly to use a one sentence summary to go through other use cases, because I realize there's also a lot of people in pharma, and I do want to leave about like 10-15 minutes in the end for you to ask questions or share your stories. So I'm going to speed up. So another solutions like smart AI, a lot of, again, I want to repeat the discussion we have in the previous section about the AI adoption and AI technologies, is that there is no one perfect solution that fits the whole industry or fits the whole sector or even in regulatory affair. So thankfully with the development of technology, AI adoption can be quite affordable. So this is where we build a customized solution of AI-enabled guidance mapping system. So previously, this is a large company. So this actually feeds both medtech, biopharma, and biotech. Previously, the SVP has to hire a big team to look at a long list, 3,000 SKU of their products, and manually to go to each country to see what guidance has changed, and then generate a report that will take 2 weeks to build, and then submit it to the leadership team, and then decide what are the next actions. The beauty of AI is that it is very good at generating summaries and generating insights. So what we have built customized AI solution called Impact IQ that can go out to the designated countries, the around 165 countries, to manually to automatically capture all the changed guidance and reflect on the product. So instead of spending a lot of time and manual work that nobody enjoy to generate a report. Now, this can be done automatically by AI solution, and the team can do much more like high level and strategic work, like task management, internal champion, communication, change management. So it's a really exciting one from the company. The next solutions that I want to talk about is AI-enabled medical writing. I figured a lot of regulatory professionals, like I asked in the beginning, are jack of all trades, and some of you do regulatory, some of you even like dab into quality affairs and clinical affairs, and even like medical affairs. Traditionally, medical writing is done by super smart and super diligent MD, PhD to read like a stack of papers and then to decide what are whether we should include or exclude a paper. So we have built an AI-enabled medical writing solution that can learn from your behavior as you read through the papers to decide whether this paper should be include or exclude. You can also write a simple set of rules, and then the AI will automatically help you read through and screen through all those documents. So one example is one of our client, Miguel. Miguel is a rising star. He's in a very small company that in a very niche diagnosis sector that they not only look at, he's not only responsible for regulatory affairs, and he's also responsible for quality, clinical, and medical, and he's also aiming for his next promotion, his next big gig. So he want to do things much more efficient. He want to achieve more milestones. And traditionally, because they're in such niche sector, the admission rate of paper is less than 2% or even lower. So poor Miguel, has to spend 6 months to finish a medical writing task. Now with AI, he can just key in all the rules, like here is the set of rules he has included, and then our AI can help him to make suggestions whether this paper should be included or exclude. And he's not only he's like, wow, this is life-changing. He can save at least 50, if not 90% of the time and effort, and also reduce his headache so that he can work on really help the company to strengthen their medical expertise and to gain more buy-in from their stakeholders like the doctors and physicians. So this is another very cool use case that is AI-enabled workflow. So the next one is like more tied into our day-to-day activities, like regulatory professionals in biopharma. So most of the times, this is based on a real story. Sometimes in the previous use case, we've talked about time is premium. And for a lot of companies, they really want their products to hit the market faster. So one strategy they come up is to search for contingent approval. They want to have a case study of all the novel therapy that have contingency approval, and then to reverse engineer their regulatory strategy. But to find contingency approval, I think on the left-hand side, everyone is probably very familiar with this our old friend FDA website on the drug approvals. You have to know the drug's name, active ingredient, or application number in order to read it and synthesize it and figure out whether it is approved upon contingency or not. But here is like you can very quickly on our global data solution, because AI can search by meanings. It can excel FDA's keywords limits. So we were able to find very quickly, find 116 therapeutic assets that has obtained contingency approval. And there will be sentences like, oh, this is for pediatric use and approved upon urgency use by the FDA's authority, or something similar to that, but AI was able to read the whole paragraph and synthesize the meaning and understand, oh, it actually means contingency upon approval upon contingency. This is the right result. So by leveraging AI in your biopharma regulatory intelligence research or case study can really help you not only save time, improve productivity, and also you can have the confidence that you've exhausted the data pool. And another story that I want to share with you is like a lot of regulatory professionals, biopharma regulatory professionals are looking at different markets and different constantly helping the company to look for new market sectors and new growth opportunities. Sometimes it can be very exhausting and challenging, especially given the language barrier, given the different country specific domain expertise, different country knowledges. But having like a one-stop shop by leveraging AI to compile all the data together, you can very quickly see, this is Keytruda, and you can see like they have been approved in multiple countries, and you can go into specific countries to see like, okay, what is their, when are they approved, what dosage, what package they use, what's their labeling, what indication they chose to apply in the first place, so that you can have a global indication prioritization strategy and you can prioritize different global sectors. So that's all the stories I want to share.